Good morning, everyone. My friend Mel Stone reminded me of three powerful words from Vanilla Ice: stop, collaborate, and listen. Seven Star Mike and Dark Pool Mel Stone joining forces on a Sunday morning. What could be better than that? I don't know. We're going to bring you a potential trade idea for ANGI, A-N-G-I. Let's take a look, see what we've got. Okay, so the chart I'm looking at is going to take about 2 seconds to explain. Then I'm going to hand this off to Mel Stone, and then I'm going to come back and show you some of the trades we're looking at. Now, one thing I want to start with is that we might not enter this trade tomorrow. It depends on how we open, and you'll see what I'm talking about with the chart. So you can see we had a clear point of resistance here. It was climbing a little bit, it hit this level, and then had a sharp decline. We had a nice run after that, and when it retraced, it went right back to this level. So we had clear resistance here becoming clear support here, and then we bounced again. So this is clearly an important level to watch. After this earnings gap down, we breached that level, but we did close above it. So I have that marked as 970, which was the high point over here. The low point over here was actually 2 cents off. So it's almost an exact level that we're watching. So as long as we open above 970, we're going to look to take this trade to the upside and look for some momentum coming in for a longer term swing trade. Now I'm going to hand this off to Mel Stone. She's going to show you a few things that we're looking at, and then I'm going to come back and explain the trade itself.
I love doing these collaborations, Mike. It's amazing to be able to look at the information differently with how we each approach the markets, our different trading styles, and collaborating with you and the other members and mods in the room is definitely what is the black box edge. So let me jump in on my part. ANGI has been a name that I've been watching, and it really caught my attention because we had some unusual dark pool activity come in. They reported earnings. Looked like they were coming in at kind of a support level. So this is one that we don't normally see a lot of activity on, and 400,000 shares definitely worth noting. So did a little more digging. Mike and I were kind of collaborating on this and trying to see what we each had. They did report earnings and seemed to have pulled back. So I went over to check the news to see what that looked like. And it looks like revenue came in a little bit below consensus. A few other things that I like to review when I'm assessing charts is to be able to see what the institutional ownership in that chart looks like. I want to see, are they continuing to add positions, hedge funds, money managers, the smart money folks, or are they getting out of their holdings? And you can see going back to December 18th, there were 174 funds holding this, and they have been increasing in fund ownership. So I do like to see that. Additionally, I do want to review what their sales looks like quarter over quarter. So it looks like they did beat, coming in with 389 million revenue, beating previous quarter, but it looks like it was did not meet the consensus. But when you review this, starting from this year, December 19th, 321, 343, 375, 389. This is a company that's seeing quarter over quarter sales growth. I like those companies. I think there's a lot of undervalued companies that are coming in with some great risk reward setups. So this one was on my radar to see if there's some potential activity in options flow, smart money, to see where we can find a trade setup and kind of get a good risk reward. Do want to just do one quick check because I want to see where else they've been in this name and if we've had any other dark pool activity. And sure enough, you can see all within this area. This is where they've been transacting. So I want to see them hold this area of support using the dark pool volume profile and see if they continue to come in either with options or in the dark pool. Mike, what else are you saying?
So here's one of the trades we're looking at. This is ANGI, A-N-G-I, and I've got the February contracts pulled up. The reason for that is there's interesting open interest on these 1750 calls. This is 12,343 contracts open, and if you look, there's no other contract that has any kind of interest like that. So that's the one that caught our attention. The other cool thing about this, they're 10 by 25 cents. So a very low priced contract. Now that is kind of far out of the money. It's currently trading at $10.01, and this is a 1750 call. Now we have out to February, so there's a lot of time for this to move. So it's a little bit farther out of the money than I would normally like. The thing that caught my attention is this monster open interest compared to any other contract. So for 10 by 25, there's time on it, even though it's a little bit out of the money. That's something that we're going to look at and potentially take that trade. Now, one of the other things we look at sometimes is when there's big volume or open interest on a particular contract that has some time on it, if it's a little bit far out of the money like this one is, let's keep the same amount of time but pull up a closer strike price. So if we look at these 15s or 1250s, 30 by 45, 55 by 80, they're still pretty low priced contracts for something that has a lot of time on it for this ticker to move in the right direction. So I like these just because of the amount of open interest. There's a little bit of action here on these, not a lot, but there's a little bit there. Little bit higher priced, obviously, because it's closer to the money, so those might be a little bit safer. I just like this one because of that monster open interest. So those February 1750 calls, those are some of the ones we're going to look at. It is possible to take the closer strikes with the same amount of time. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but it's going to be a little bit safer. That's what we're looking at. I want to see how this opens tomorrow, and we might potentially have an entry for ANGI, ANGI. Thank you, Melstone, for hanging out with me on a Sunday. I appreciate that for sure. If you guys want some exciting content from her, she just launched a YouTube channel. So if you go to the YouTube page, go to the search bar, type in Dark Pool Melstone, and she will pop up. She's going to be delivering some awesome dark pool content for us. So hopefully you guys like this trade idea. Let's see how it sets up tomorrow. Maybe we can get in as a group and ride this one for some profits. We'll see you on the charts.